all about it? Okay. I thought the phone fell. This is the update in regards to my phone call to the food pantry to try to talk with a manager or director. I got a phone call back at 11:32, and I answered, and it was the lady from that food pantry, and I asked if she's a manager. She said no, she's the director. So I explained to her everything. What happened last week when I was 2 minutes late. What happened this morning. And I explained that I only went there because of having a need, and I explained the food stamp issue that I talked about in the first video of this. And I will say that she listened. She said as far as last week, being 2 minutes late, that I was 2 minutes late. She said we stopped giving out food at 12 noon, without exceptions. She said it's a hard, fast rule that she's had in place for however long, I forget, she told me. And it's because if she made an allowance for me being 2 minutes late, if there was someone that came 4 minutes late and found out they made an exception for me at 2 minutes late, they'd have to be doing it for everyone. I said, why don't you close down the road, which is the entrance? They have two different entrances. One for days like today. Well, you know what? I don't know why they closed the other one down. The main one, you go through 2 parking lots to get to it, and then on this short dirt road, which gets very muddy and floods when it rains, and that was closed this morning. I had to go around. But anyway, I said, well, why don't you close the road at 12 noon? I said the guy was out there picking up the flags, and he didn't put any barrier. That's how I was able to get through. Well, she said that, which didn't make sense, but she said if they took the time to close the road at 12 noon and also pick up the flags, then her volunteers would be there till 1:30. Okay. And as far as what happened today, this morning, she said that she'd talk with the staff. Now, mind you, they close at 12 noon. It was 11:32 when she called. They are less than 5 minutes from me, and she didn't say, so sorry about the mix-up or anything like that, but if you're able to come today before noon, even though your last name begins with the letter that is for next week, we would still, if you can get here before noon, I'll be sure that someone puts food in your car. I feel like she could have done that and nobody else in the line would know that that exception was made. And then, of course, I wouldn't go, next week. Next week, my Social Security check comes, so I wouldn't have a need to go. But she didn't even offer that. She was like, she came across like, this is how it is, and there's no exceptions. Yet they have some kind of saying, oh, the paper's at home. But it's like, they do their best, or they make sure that no family goes without essentials. Oh. So anyway, that's how that turned out. And hey, at least she called back. She didn't have to. I really didn't know if anyone would. It's just the feeling I've gotten from how that place is kind of run. It's like so many chiefs and not enough Indians. I even remember the day that I went there, and they did give me food this other time, and I didn't have the QR code. I didn't know you had to have it. And then they asked me about it. I said I didn't know anything about it, and they said, well, we'll give you food today, and if you have a few minutes just to pull over and come inside, and we'll make a copy of your license and get your information to put in the system so that we can just text you the QR code, and that's what you'll show the next time you come, which was fine. And I did all that. I pulled over after they put food in the car, and I went in and gave them all the information they needed. But even that day, it seemed like too many chiefs and not enough Indians, because when the lady was being very kind and explaining all that to me, another lady came up beside her and was kind of being real pushy, saying all clients have to have their information in the system. And she was kind of repeating what this lady was telling me, but the lady that was talking to me at first was being very kind and patient because I was unaware of it. The woman that came up behind her, which is another volunteer, was kind of getting on the first lady for explaining it to me. But how was I to know? So I just don't know how a place can function like that when there's so many bosses that are bossy. I don't know, and I don't really know if I'll go back to that one. But like I say, I'm glad the lady called me back. She may talk to her volunteers or she may not. What I do know about that place is from before the pandemic I had gone. And at that time, a religious group of people used to volunteer there. And I guess, well, that's all that I know from before the pandemic. It was one specific religious group that volunteered, and they were very kind people. And the pandemic was 4 or 5 years ago, I even forget. So many things have changed, and I think now they get volunteers like Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and different other organizations. I've been just a few times here where I went this morning, and I recognize some of the same volunteers, but then there are other ones that are always different. So I don't know. I just don't know. Thank God that people are willing to volunteer their time, though. I just felt like it needed to be brought to her attention, but I really think it went in one ear and out the other. Not much I can do. Well, my Meals on Wheels lady that comes every Friday has been on vacation. But she texted me this morning and she put in an order for a dozen eggs for Friday, tomorrow. So that's good. She's just so kind. I don't know if I told you that about a month ago, she told me that a neighbor of hers went online and ordered a package of egg cartons for me. Wow. They come in a package. I got it in the back seat because I have no room in the trailer. I've just been taking them out as I need them. But it comes in a package. They're opened up. And then my Meals on Wheels lady went to Target that same day. And she she bought me stickers. I think there's flowers and butterflies. And she said, I just felt like buying you these stickers. I was looking for some chicken stickers or some baby chicks. And she said, I just felt like to buy you some stickers that maybe you could put a sticker on an egg carton when you sell them. Just kind of dress it up and maybe help the person remember that, hey, there's someone at this place, you know, selling some eggs. So wasn't that thoughtful? I mean, wow. God really knows how to send you some thoughtful people and encourage you. She's such a nice lady. I really want to make her at least a couple dishcloths and one of my scrubbies. She also gave me such a beautiful card after Monster passed away. Monster passed away 3 weeks ago today. And my Meals on Wheels lady came that next day, which was a Friday. But that day she had texted me asking if I had any eggs for the next day. And I told her yes. And I told her about Monster. She had seen Monster before. And I mean, right away, she must have probably even gone out Thursday night to get a card. I don't know. Or early Friday morning, because she starts her deliveries for Meals on Wheels early. And she brought me a card. I guess you call it a sympathy card. I mean, just so thoughtful. That was the first card that I got. I got another card from my friend Michelle in Michigan, the one whose link I've left several times to her website, Treasured Heirlooms Crochet. And just recently, yesterday or 2 days ago, must have been Tuesday, I got another card in the mail from one of our friends in the Yarny community. I'm not going to tell you who yet because she sent a couple other things, so it's going to be a Happy Mail video. I still have Happy Mail from Crystal. Nope. Can't remember the name of her channel. She and her husband are here in Texas, maybe about 40 minutes from me. Hopefully we can meet up one day. If she hasn't stopped watching my channel because I'm so late in showing that Happy Mail. I did thank her, though. I just haven't showed you yet. Intersection you really gotta watch. This is also the intersection. Well, that road there is where my car, when it was overheating and shutting off, where it did. It is a beautiful sunny day. It's quite warm. I still feel like we need rain because we're just going into June next week, Sunday. So it's going to be getting hotter and hotter and drier And I did learn one song, and then every now and then I'd pick it back up and try to practice, but it was a big, heavy accordion, and as my left shoulder started to get worse with no cartilage and the bones disintegrating, I couldn't handle it no more. So I sold it to someone, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago maybe. But I would love to one day they have small accordions that are very popular, like in Mexico and Argentina, Brazil. They have them here, but they're small. They don't have as many keys or as many buttons, but you still play it. It's not a toy. I would love to one day maybe find one of those, maybe be able to play it since it's small. I even tried to play my big heavy one sitting on my lap. That's how I was learning. I would sit down in a chair, and my pastor's wife at that time would sit down across from me. They can be played sitting down, but it got to be just too much. I felt like I'm going to end up really hurting my spinal cord with that weight, and then with this left shoulder having no cartilage and no bones, I just couldn't maneuver it. And I never did stick with learning more of the keyboard or the piano. I just didn't stick with it. All right, I'm pulling up to where I need to be, and I'll probably talk to you later. Thank you.